want to wish you welcome to Persson's table tennis world, where I show my technique and some of my best strokes during this videotape. So I hope you will enjoy it a lot, and also you can learn some things which I show with the technique things. It's small things, but it's important that you try to develop your own style. But hopefully this can help you a little bit on the way to become a champ. Yeah, what is special is that I make the finger very much like this, but it means also that I can keep a good position with my hand wrist. I can change very quickly between backhand and forehand. So this is what I try, and I started very young to have this grip. I never changed grip. I always played with this kind of grip. The point is to hit the ball on the highest point. And then get a nicely smooth stroke, yeah. So you follow through a little with your body also. So that's the main thing. It's important that you go down with your legs and start the movement a little more down, and then try to play the topspin on the highest point there also. And then you have to follow through, yeah, and also work with your overbody. it's important to try to keep the hand wrist very steady, and also play behind your body. So you have the body behind your backhand stroke. That's very important, and also the highest point is important there. Yeah, there it's very important that you stay steady and you get this elbow at the front, yes, so you can not like that you have it behind. It's very important that you come forward with this, so you can work here with with this one, but stay very steady here. It's important, so you don't working like this. It's very important that you come forward and stay, then you can get good rotation on the ball, and it's also easier to have better control. Yeah, it's there you can use your hand wrist a little more to make with spin, and also take the ball quite quickly after bounce, because then you get good pressure on the ball, and also do something, work with your hand wrist. It's important. Yeah, you have to also go down with your legs and start. There you can have little longer movement behind your body because you have more time to work on a push ball. But very important also that you use your whole body all together, yeah. And then coming from the basement, you can say, come up, yeah. And it's almost the same. It's maybe you must go down a little more with your legs, but still stay with the elbow in front, yeah, so you can work on the ball. And also try to have the body behind, so you don't just move your arms. It's important that you move your body also. So you're coming, so you hit the ball with the body behind you. That's the same that you try to hit the ball on the highest point, and the same, it's very important that you stay very steady, because this shot is a very difficult shot away from the table. And also the same, that try to keep your body behind and move your legs, so you don't only move your arms, yeah. And then you have to make little longer movement, and also good follow through. It's very important. It's to stay, to play the ball on the highest point there also. It's very important, because you get, you can come over the ball easier. And also you can have little longer movement there if you want, because you have more time, you go little away from the table. But also to try to play the ball in front of your body, not behind. Yeah. That's excellent. It's because you can make pressure on your opponent, so you can play the ball directly after bounce. So it means that you make a shorter movement in front of your body and hit the ball quite early. point is I have very good hand wrist. So I come from forehand and I hit much with my wrist. On this stroke I make very much with the wrist. No, I'm not steady or like this. It's mostly my wrist is working, yeah. So, and I try to hit it on the highest point, but sometimes the ball is falling down, but I can still hit it very good because I use my hand wrist so much. Important is that you stay very neutral with your racket, that you stay in the middle always, because then you have shorter movement to forehand and then you always go back and then you can go to backhand. Because if you start with you start your racket here, if topspin is coming to your backhand you have to go hold this way. And opposite, if you have your racket here you have to go this way. So always stay neutral, then you can choose. Yeah, it learned a lot when I was in China. I was 81, I was only 15 years old. So that learned me to play against a lot of different styles. Pen holder, defensive players. This was the main, I mostly learned on this year, to play against different types. And also defensively, I learned this with neutral, that to keep the racket in the middle, yeah, so I can be quick to both sides. Yeah, that's true, but also it was also that we played them quite a lot, so we learned to play against them, and we also had a little, we started to use a flip, where you can make, you can flip it on both sides and don't show which corner you flip, yeah. We call it fint flip, yeah. This we did, yeah, but we also improved our defense much more, yeah. And that was really a key point. Forehand block is to stay close to the table. It's very important you don't go too far away from the table and take the ball very quick after it bounce. That's the main thing, yeah. And also you have to close the racket. You have to be a little flexible there when you use your side, I mean, to close it and open it. But quite close when blocking. It's the same on the backhand side. Take the ball very quick off a bounce and not too far, go away, stay close, and also close the racket, yeah. And also same there, yeah. You stay with your body behind on blocking, with mostly more important with your backhand stroke. Forehand you can stay a little more, but still very important to stay close to your body, so you don't go out like this. Backhand fish, yeah. Yeah, there it's the same. It's important with your legs, and try always to have your body behind, and also there you have to start quite a little lower down and make a quite long movement, because then you get better control of the ball. Lobbing, yeah. It's very important that you look at the ball, yeah, and try there also work with your legs, and there you start very low down with your racket often, and make it with spin. Try to make with spin, because then it makes it more difficult for the opponent to smash it, yeah. And there you must use both backhand. You just put it quite straight up with your racket side, both backhand and forehand. Yeah, it's to surprise your opponent always. Yeah, I mean, if you maybe only making high balls, they learn this and it's easier. It's important with this fantasy and also surprising things during the game. So there you can try in practice. I mean, you can always make some different strokes. Maybe it's not in the book, but you can still. It's important that you have this fantasy and try sometimes. Yeah, because then it can come in a match also automatically. The point is to try to have the same movement in the movement, but have different spin to change at the last second with your hand wrist. And also try to hide little with your left arm. So you, maybe when you hit the ball, you can hide it for your opponent so they don't see when you hit the ball. But the hand wrist is very important, and try to have the same movement but different spin. And also try to hit the ball quite on the way down, so close to the table as possible, because then you get better bounce, not so high bounce. Different is maybe that you can, with backhand service, you can stay from your backhand side, but you can also move a little into the middle more. In forehand service is mostly you stay on the backhand corner. Mostly it's normal, yeah. But with backhand service you can go in a little more to the middle of the table. So make service, you can change the variation on the table then. Yeah. Yeah, the key point there is that because then if you change service, you change spin also. It means that he must change also. He cannot receive the same. That's also a good surprise in a match, because then they don't get used to one receive. They have to change also. So this can be a good, surprising thing during a match. For all players, I mean, hobby players as professional players. I had idols when I started to play. I was 6 years old, and in Sweden we had world champions, Stellan Bengtsson, Kjell Johansson, Hans Alsér, yeah. So they were my influence, yeah. I think that's the main reason why I started. They were my idols, yeah. And just one day was my thought to become world champion. So I started with this, yeah, and also I think I played a lot of tournaments when I was very young, so I learned very early to both win and to lose, and that was very important, I think, yeah. I played many tournaments at a very young age, yeah. So I learned from beginning that you cannot always win. You have to accept that you lose also. Now they practice a lot, but what I think is the main difference is that we play a lot of more matches. That is my impression, yeah, that you practice a lot here in German, but you play less matches. We try to play, we have many tournaments, yeah, so the kids, you learn in a very early age to play a lot of games, yeah, and also to win and lose, and also different styles. And in game, it's not the same as practice. When you come to big championships or you play a small tournament as hobby player, it's not the same. You get nervous and like this. So you start quite early to learn this, to play sometimes under pressure, yeah, like this. So that's the main thing, I mean, and to play games, that's the main thing with table tennis, I think. Yeah. It's fun to practice, but the main thing is to play matches and games and tournaments. Practice, I try to play, I mean, quite many different, not exercises, but I try to develop my own game and my own style. So it's of course it's important to have good trainers also to learn you, yeah. But also I think it's important that you think on yourself also, that you can maybe develop your own game, yeah, and think table tennis, yeah. But of course we didn't glue also very early. I started gluing more when I was 13 years old, 13, 14, yeah. So from the beginning I learned technique without gluing, and I think that was quite good also, because you learn better technique maybe from the beginning then. This we make. It's about 60% with control plus footwork exercises, and 40% with service and receiving and like this.
Make it funky.
Yeah. I think grip is from 91 grip. The grip is very old, yeah. You can feel it very. Yeah. Advantage. Yeah. Because then he must play backhand. 15 seconds. Yeah, one time. Yeah, it's also important that you work with your wrist and take the ball very quick after bounce, because then it's easier to control it and to make really short. If you wait for the ball, it's quite difficult. So I try to come in quite quick in the table and work with my hand wrist, and also to make something with the wrist, not only because then you can use the spin in the ball. Yeah, I try to make little more with my backhand, so I come with so I get the ball under, yeah, so then I can make little spin myself. So it's then you have to work very hard. It's a very difficult shot, but I try to work with this to get little underspin. It makes it more difficult for your opponent to make something on that ball, and it stops also. Yeah, it's literally with the fantasy there. I mean, your receivement must be like, yeah, so your opponent never know which ball is coming. So you try to, there you can use your imagination little, yeah. And this is what you can practice with. Sometimes you push, maybe sometimes you have a little flip. So I mean, there it's much up to yourself to try new things, yeah, and also push sometimes with spin and no spin, a little like this. Everything to do is as difficult as possible for your opponent. backhand flip, it's not so usual. Most of the players can flip very good with forehand. Especially pen holders are very good to flip with forehand. But I try to use my backhand flip also because it's a little unusual, and I can also place the ball all over the table with my wrist then, so it means that it's difficult for my opponent to see where I flip the ball with my backhand. I can flip straight, I can flip diagonal, and it's much with the wrist, yeah. But it's same there, it's important to try to make it on the highest point, and the ball is on high, because it's much easier then. I practice multi-balls. You can practice flip a lot when you make multi-balls. It's a quite good thing, because then you can all the time practice and you get good feeling then for it. No, but this is especially with my backhand. With my backhand I can use because I use the wrist very much, and a lot of players are maybe more locked with the grip, yeah. So they have more difficulties to make this. But I'm quite loose in the wrist also, yeah. So that's why I can use this as a weapon in my matches.
I try to think where, if I make this spin, where is the main possibility that my opponent play the ball, So if I place the ball on this direction on the table, I think normally he plays maybe back to this side. And it means that I can go little, I can move little before sometimes and like this. And then I try to come out from the table after service, so I don't stay in the table. I try to make service and come out, so I can work, see which ball is coming, and then work on this ball. In my mind is to make pressure on the opponent when he makes service. That first I have to look on the service if it's long service or short. So I don't decide before that I make this return. I try to stay neutral. So I look service first and then I make decision. Not first, now I play short, now I play long. I see which ball is coming in which service, and then I make my decision. And then I try to play quite aggressive attacks, because it means that the opponent gets less time, and then maybe I can come back in offensive position. And also to come in. I go into the table or out, and then I try to come out as quick as possible. I try to look at his movement. I don't follow the ball so much. If some players are very high throw up, I always concentrate on the racket. I don't follow the ball. I try to say, and then I look on the movement, which spin. But of course, when the service is coming, I try to look the ball, the market on the ball, if it's no spin or underspin.
How many minutes before the...
Around 30 minutes before match, yeah. 30 to 40. But that's very individual. How much you want fresh glue. Yeah, I forgot almost, but since 83, 84, yeah. Maybe 82 also. I don't remember, it's a long time, yeah, so.
So I'm doing just 30 minutes before?
Yeah, beginning maybe it was more, 1 hour, yeah. I remember when I started to play, me and my father changed rubber. Yeah, we wanted always to have. If you had fresh rubbers, you couldn't play. So you wanted to play 1 month with the rubber. Before it was good, yeah, but now it's 1 day instead. Yeah, so it's a big difference since I started to play. Then it was like 1 month. I wanted to practice with the rubber, and it must be not too fresh. Yeah, so it's a big difference. And now you change rubbers almost every day. Yeah, it's a big development from table tennis also. I mean, it's funny when you look back.
Normally you do the only 1 time.
What?
1 time do it.
Yeah, 1 time. I glue backhand a little longer before. 2 hours I glue backhand. I don't want to backhand. Yeah. I don't want to have too fresh gluing on backhand. No, never. That's why it's good to make it 30-40 minutes before, because if something happens, you have time to change it. You always have 2 rubbers in reserve for security. If something happens, if you get bubble, but now the rubbers are so good, so we don't get bubbles. And it's also another glue now than before, yeah. So not so strong. I normally let it dry on the wood. I let it dry here and then have a little wetter here. So you let it dry here. Here it's totally dry, and then here it's not so dry, but I put it on anyway. I'm taking my plastic bag. I have it 10 years now. Yeah. Only 15 seconds, something. Yeah, no. Just to push it down, yeah. Not so long time. It's just to get so it sticks. And it's also little, for me, my procedure when I glue. We have a lot that both sides are working. We make a lot of exercises which comes out in free play But we start regular, yeah. But then often it's finished in that it's unregular, yeah. So we often try to both sides are working. Yeah, the blocker side are not only blocking. He can also, if it's a good ball, he can play free or like this, yeah. And also we have a lot of mixture with back and forehand exercises. And yeah, because if you look today, you have to be very all-round, because you cannot always attack. You have to have a defensive play also, yeah. So it means that it's important that you have both backhand and forehand sides are strong. It means that you can play more economic also during matches. And I try also to practice this quite much, because table tennis today is very quick, and to combine this, yeah. But it's the same there. I always try to stay neutral, to stay here and play very close to your body, both backhand and forehand, because I get more. You are more steady then. You're not so movements are not so flying. I mean, it's very. You keep steady with your body. So this is important. You get better balance also. we try. I think that's also because we have very good defense. So when we practice exercises, we have to work a lot because the other side is never missing with blocking. Yeah. So we work very many times during the footwork practice. And of course it's not always to play too hard on footwork practice, maybe to play maybe 80% of your maximum speed, because then it means that you work more. It's you who work, you practice your footwork, yeah. So maybe then play a little, not 100%, only 80%, so you can work a little longer. And it means also that you practice your footwork better. Yeah, we try to practice quite unregular, yeah. So we often start diagonal, yeah. But after, yeah, like we say, 5 minutes, we change, yeah. So then we can play, one side can play straight, yeah, to change, yeah. And then it means that it's a surprising in a match, yeah. It's a very difficult stroke, but if you practice it in practice, it's a good to teach you to make it in matches also. Yeah, we learned. I mean, when they were best, yeah. So we took advantage from this when we could go there to practice. We had coaches there, so we learned from them. As we learned from Japan when they were best in the 50s, yeah. We had a lot of Swedish players was here 50s, 60s to went here to practice. So, and then but still we develop our own practice from this, yeah. But you can learn a lot, yeah. But then you try to develop your own style, yeah. So we practice blocking training a lot, yeah. And now maybe our young generation has to do that again more, practice with blocking, because now a lot of players only play attacking style. So we try to go back a little to play more block training. But there is also, you can find different ways of exercises there. It's also, on the video I show some, yeah, but you can develop this maybe a little easier in the beginning as you are a newcomer, a new starter, yeah. So then you can continue after to make more and more difficult. Yes, we try to make little, not fun, but try to get some competition in the service games. So sometimes we play, you have to win 3 straight in my service, the opponent, and then he gets 1 point. And we play this 15 minutes or like this. And then the winner, or the loser, must go under the table. Because if he is losing, yeah. So we try to find that you find some competition also in the practice. It makes it a little more fun also during, you practice 2-3 hours sometimes. So in the end you're a little tired, your mind is a little tired, you need these extra things, yeah. And we also make winning table. We play only 1 set from 10 all. And we have a winning table, yeah. And who finished on the winning table, maybe he win a Coca-Cola or something like that, yeah. Always some prizes, yeah. That's the coach is sponsoring with that, so he can get poor, yeah. It's similar, yeah. We try, yeah, like with this receive exercise, yeah. That if I win in his service, yeah, I get some points, yeah. So this is the main practice there, because if you practice little matches, you practice receive also, yeah. So, but of course you can practice little more specific. You can practice if you want to make topspin on half long service and like this. You can make more specific, yeah. But it's games and like this, it's very good practice. Yeah, it's to be very focused. I mean, it's to look the spin all the time and also play with variation, yeah, to let the defense player work both insides and also back and forwards, yeah. But I try to come down very much with my legs also. It's very important to come down. And then of course to have a smash, it's also quite important. So you change, they don't can play different speed also is the main reason. That I try to make hard spins, slow spins. This is very good, so they don't get on one distance. If you play same distance always against defense players, you cannot, they are like wall. So this is my main things. Tempo change, yeah, all the time. Yeah, it's to, I mean, they are forehand players. So you try to use your own backhand then against their backhands, because they are weaker there. And it's try to lock them all the time, yeah, so they cannot come with forehand, because if they can start with forehand, they are very dangerous. Almost the same, not all, but it's same system. They are forehand players, you know that, yeah? You try to find the backhand on them and try to move them from forehand to backhand also, because that's the weak point often. It's, yeah, it's, then you try more to play own attack maybe, yeah? That you run a little more self with your forehand game, yeah? And maybe try to find the middle then, because a lot of players are good both back and forehand, and you normally try to find the middle more attacking. This is my racket, what I play with. It's Donny Coppa and the Persson power play. I play maximum on both red and black because it suits my attacking game. And also during all my years I had a lot of success with this thing, so it makes me really happy.
that you have been enjoying this videotape. Myself, I enjoyed it a lot to make it, and I hope it will teach you some things during your way to be a champ. And it also shows the Swedish way of making practice and myself. And also, you can see a lot that I try to play quite much irregular exercises, which means that both sides are working and you try to get both backhand and forehand into the exercises. So I hope that it will help you on the way to be a champ as I. So good luck and see you in the near future. Bye bye.
Winning.